All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Angels Rebuild Series here on MLB The Show 25. We are starting off in the 2026 season, off season, I guess you can say. And the Angels, right, did not have the season that anyone would want. It was pretty bad. But with where we're at with the Angels, we do have a lot of we have to work through, right? Ron Washington has retired. Need a new manager. Need a new hitting coach, who I fired. And then we got a pitching coach. Or I think we fired our pitching coach, but we need first base coach, hitting coach, pitching coach, and manager. We're going to keep the farm director there just based on the cash alone. I don't really see myself trying to take too much right off the bat. So we'll roll with that as is. The roster needs a lot of work, but with our draft picks that we brought in, I'm really hoping they continue to grow, right? You got Gilberto Villalobos here, who is a starting pitcher that I think is going to have an opportunity to kind of grow with this team, coming over from our draft pick there. You have... some other cats right now. George Clausen, I think, is continuing to develop into a pretty good starting pitcher. You got a cat like Sandy Gaston, Cuba, that I hope that ends up being something pretty special for us down the road. Adrian Placencia, Nelson Rada, I think they are growing into a decent group of players there. So the hope is that we'll see these guys moving up further into the series. In the AAA, you're going to see a couple of new guys, or a couple of guys here that I hope work out, right? Caden Donna, there's an opportunity now to see this guy move up. He's on the 40-man roster now, and I really want to see this guy eventually get called up. At 22 years old, still very young. I don't think there's anything necessary to bring him up yet. I think you call him up when it's time to roll with the 40 man. You move him down to AAA one more year. I think that gives us an opportunity there. Technically, he can move up. We haven't used an option yet, so we're gonna have to use it in this, in the spring training to bring him back. But Christian Moore, I think he's developing into a pretty good guy there. We're gonna have to probably call him up. We're gonna have to use another option because I'd like to keep him down at AAA one more year before we bring him up. Samuel Aldeguerri is another guy that I hope kind of goes through. Tucker Flint's another one. Victor Medeiros. You're looking at some pretty decent players. Nico Cavadas, Kyron Paris. These are guys that I hope end up being in the majors in the next year or two. David Calabrese, I think, needs to stay in the AAA for a little bit longer. But as you can see, we got a lot of work. Here. So first thing we want to take care of, right? We have exclusive free agent negotiations. These are the guys you got to deal with here. You want to bring them in? No, thank you. With that being said, I want to start looking at some coaches here. Dave Roberts, I think isn't that the manager from the freaking Angels here? He's asking probably for a decent amount of money there. This guy could really grow us. What kind of situation would this do for us? Right, he's looking for an $8 million a year deal. That would take a huge chunk of change out of our group. But when you have someone like David Roberts, I think you take a chance with them. And I'm willing to spend $9 million on this guy. That is a huge chunk of change there. But you bring in someone like Dave Roberts onto the team, you gotta hope that'll work out. Now, if that doesn't work out, I think this is where you can kind of go further down the list, and maybe someone like a Steven Yang could potentially work out. And at $5.5 million for 3 years would not be a bad situation for us. So we're going to look at those two guys there. As far as the hitting coach, which we do need, I think we're going to have to try to play this a little bit different. You got Leo Neal here, plate discipline, contact, clutch, and power. I think those are pretty good there. I'm cool with just, again, this is about trying to bring in some guys that will give us better chance there, and having a good hitting coach is pretty solid for us. Now you got another guy here, William Jang. He's 39 years old. Maybe he takes a 1.3 million. So there's 2 players there. We need a pitching coach now. And the pitching coach is a little bit tougher here, but what is this? So control velocity. Yeah, that all screams awesome. You're going to have to probably spend. We're going to spend a lot of money on our coaches because I think it's needed here. But you want to have a secondary plan. First base coach here. There's some work there. You got Junior Moreno. Give him a little bit more there. Third base coach. Hoping Andres Novoa. So we got a lot of money, folks, in this freaking thing here. That's a lot of cash available there. We got a farm director, so I don't have to worry about that. Think we're okay. Let's see what happens here. We will. Leo Neal has accepted the Angels offer as a hitting coach. Novoa has accepted the White Sox offer, so we don't have him. Unfortunate there. So let's continue to look through it. So we got our hitting coach. Did he accept it? Dave Roberts. No, we're fighting. We're fighting. The Dodgers are saying, hey, man, we'll give you a 4-year, $29 million. We're going to give him way more per year. So I'm hoping he's very interested in that. The hitting coach is done. Now we need to figure out the pitching coach, where Eddie Lance looks like he's available along with Nate Max. First base coach, Junior Moreno, is still with us. Third base coach. I don't think I have a third base coach. Ooh, Ollie Flutie. Let's give him $1 million there. So we'll see what that looks like. Junior Moreno has accepted our offer there for a first base coach. Love that. Got to keep rolling here, man. What's the situation here? Dave Roberts still way at the top of the list. So we want this guy. That's who we want. I think we had the other. Oh, Jared Cherry here. Bunting. None of that really screams awesome. Oh yeah, Eddie. That's a pitching coach. Arm strength. 3.5 million for a managerial history. Yeah, I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna wait on that. I do not want to take a chance on that. Let's advance it again. Wow, what's going on here? So Dave Roberts is still fighting for one. What do we still need? We need a pitching coach, a third base coach. What's the pitching look like? Looks like Eddie Lance is still there. Nate Matz. He's not bad at all. And our first base coach. Do we have a first base? Yeah, so the third base coach is where we're at right now. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll see. Last day. Let's see what's going on here with the coaches, man. This is insane, bro. They are taking a lot longer to make a decision here. Eddie Lance still doing his thing. Nate Max, he's still kind of figuring it out. Third base coach for us, still figuring it out. Gonna keep working. Eddie Lance has accepted the offer as a pitching coach. Today is the day to offer contracts for free agents. We'd like to stop simulating. So this is where we're at here. I got to figure out what, did my staff get filled out? Coach contracts. Dave Roberts is still. What's our contracts here? So we got a hitting coach, pitching coach, first base coach. We don't have a third base coach yet. Oh, so here's what I'm thinking of doing for the manager. I think we make the offer and we go for the gusto there. I think if he wants a 4-year deal, I think at 9.2, that's a pretty freaking big offer there. And then the third base coach, give him like 1.1. I think that's not bad right there. I think that's all our coaches. Hopefully that works out. So we're here at the free agency now, and they want us to select our 40. I think currently right now we got 36. So we can tender some contracts. We can go through arbitration on some. I'm not as worried here. I think what I'd like to do is probably start removing players off my roster that I don't think are gonna make this thing, right? So hopefully we find this through here. Let me work through the tender contracts real quick, and then we'll jump into the free agency. So we went ahead and tendered some offers here. Hopefully they will accept them all. But what I recognize though is I have 5 relief pitchers that I don't see myself extending, along with the catcher. So those are some needs now that I see that we're gonna have to fill here and hopefully move on from. So I'm gonna remove some of these guys here off my list so I can start making my choices there. So the first person I'm looking at right now on this list is Sean Anderson. We do not see ourselves bringing him on, and it's good to kind of move on from there. He didn't really fit with what we're trying to do. The hope was that he'd be ready to roll, but it's not going to work out. The other guys coming from the A's here is Angel Felipe. He's got some speed, but that's pretty much it there. I'm also looking at I believe we have an offer for Kevin Caceres, but I'm looking at Jack Dashwood, 28 years old. He's a big guy, but that's pretty much all he is. And then the last one is Garrett McDaniels. Just doesn't really fit what we're trying to do there. The other guy I'm looking to remove is Chucky Robinson, 31 years old, a catcher. Low OVR, we can kind of build on that. So we're going to be left with 5 catchers. We have to work through that. We got plenty of relievers, as you can see, on our roster. So that kind of helps us out to kind of build up that crew, because you need 15 right there. That's 30, potentially 33. And we have like 43 pitchers on the roster. So technically we don't need any more, but just because I have that many pitchers doesn't mean that we have to roll with that. Now that's the players that are currently on there. You know, we have to think about the arbitration next, right? And there's a couple players here that we have to think about. Is it time to bring some of these guys on? So Jose Cajeda is a player I do not want on this team. Victor Gonzalez, I think he looked okay, but I think we're gonna have to set this up. So I'll talk through this after I'm done going through the contracts here. So when it comes to the offers that I have out there, I'm trying to offer Joe Adell a 2-year deal for $15.5 million. I don't want to give him a little bit more than that. I think he's looking for like a little over 10 million, and I'm just not ready for that yet. I kind of want to see what he got for this next year. So hopefully he accepts a 15.5. We're going to let Jose Cajeda go. I gave a deal for Victor Gonzalez for about a little over $1 million, like $1.3 million a year. I think that's fair, as he could potentially be a guy that we is probably going to be in our bullpen next season. We're going to let Scott Kingery go. Dakota Hudson, I gave him a 2-year deal there for about $750,000 a year. I think that's fair for where he's at. Brock Burke, same kind of deal. These are guys that I hope we can use these guys. Brock Burke could have a shot to play in our bullpen now, and he's a good lefty. I think he'll definitely do better than Jose Suarez. And Connor Brogdon, same deal, kind of cheaper deal there. I think Connor Brogdon, we can have him play down in the minors for a little bit, and it's time to bring him up. We will. Jose Suarez, though, we are going to let him go. So I'm looking forward to getting those guys off my roster right now, just to prevent me from not having the space for them. So Jose Cajeda is gone. Jose Suarez is gone. We wish them the best of luck. And the shortstop in Scott Kingery is also gone. So we got room, man. That's the thing that I'm looking at it right now. We have a little bit more room. We only have 33 players on the active 40, so that's going to give me an opportunity to think about who I'd like to bring up. But let's start first with now, how do we move forward in the free agent market? So as far as the free agent market is concerned, it looks like your season Your off-season budget for this 16-week period can be found here. You may not exceed the budget, so use it wisely. We recommend setting your positional and team needs as soon as possible. If a free agent matches your needs, to become more motivated to join your team. Adding a free agent to your big board is a best way to learn and improve the motivation. Whoa. Adjusting a free agent's primary priority slot on your board will also increase or lower their motivation to sign each week. Okay, so our positional needs, right? What do we need? I think the starting pitchers, definitely not a worry. Like, that is something I'd like to kind of make sure we check off there. I'd say a reliever is another one, a third base. So I can select up to 3 positions here. And my issue is, I guess we can't emphasize starting pitcher right now. I think I gotta look at the left field, dude. We got issues at left field right now. Why isn't it left? There you go. Those are the positions: third base, a relief pitcher, and left field. I think that's good right there. Select up to 2 team needs. So what do we want here? I think I'd love to see. Do we need a left-handed pitcher? Right. I think we got another. I think we got a decent amount of guys there. I think it's just more about what do we want. I'm looking for is on-base machine, contact, speed. I think you get an on-base machine guy. Do we need any lefties, righties? I think it doesn't really matter to me. I think I'm more focused on trying to get more power. Those are the 2 that I'd love to have there. Lock-in, changes, and advance manual. Discard changes. And then as far as the big board is concerned, this is where it's time to see who's available. Top 150 agents can be found on this page. Recommended free agents that match your positional needs. Be sure to set. Okay. All free agents show every free agent available. Okay. If a free agent is asking more than your budget allows, they will appear with a lock. If they are affordable, you can add them to your board. Okay, cool. All right, so these are the guys at the top. Tucker and Vladimir, we saw that on the news in the previous episode that they're looking for a 9-digit contract, and we are not at the point that that's necessary for us. You got other guys like Framber Valdez, a good pitcher there. Dylan Cease is out there. Ryan Helsley, Mike King, Eflin. You got Ranger Suarez out there. So some pretty legit pitchers are out there. Rysale Iglesias, a really good closer. These are guys. Bo Bichette, is that real? Bo Bichette. If we did that, right, if we had Bo Bichette, you could move Rengifo to third base completely, and then you move Nito to second base. Actually, can Nito play second? I got to look at that. So Bo Bichette would be a fun one. Gleyber Torres, Clayton Kershaw's out there, right? He's a little older, and you bring a guy like him. He's not going to have the biggest of speed, but the guy is very intelligent. He still pitches pretty well. You put him in the middle reliever spot, I think you'll be okay. You got Lane Thomas out there, freaking okay. You got Josh Naylor, Aaron Savale. You got some pretty good guys. Cedric Mullins, that's a center fielder I'd be freaking fun with, because you can move, like, although Adele, who could potentially come back, Moniak, who could potentially come back, they are center fielders. They can play either position. So someone like Cedric Mullins out there would be tough. He had 18 home runs. He's a lefty. He's currently 31 years old, so he might be looking for something there. Wow, Garrett Hampson, 31 years old. This guy plays everywhere. He's all about the contact. That would be fun. He could play shortstop, but he could play all the other positions. That would help us out. Chris Paddock is out there. Harrison Bader. This is another kid here. Oh, man. Luke Weaver. So if we bring in Luke, right? You're talking about a guy that could really help us out. He's 32 years old. That could be a name right there that could really work through the bullpen for us. Colby Milner. Michael Conforto. Luis Ariz, I'd be down for that. He can play second base. He's a very consistent hitter. He's 28 years old. Having someone like Luis Ariz on the team would be nice. You pretty much have him up there. That could really set up our freaking first. He'd be a leadoff hitter for sure. This team, leadoff or be batting number 2, and that gives us a lot of versatility on the lineup on how we'd like to shape it up. I think Nito and Shinua can really help us out at the top of the lineup too, but you have him, you move Nito to 5 or something like that. I think that could really work through it. There's some pretty good pitchers out there. Will Castro, he's freaking solid, durable. That's key for us. He can play shortstop, second base, third base. Again, another guy that can really help us out in these positions here. Jesse Winker, he pretty much fits all our needs. I think that's really good to see right there. So this is the top 150, some really good players. Some guys are not really in our needs, so they're probably not going to want to rock with us. But Elias Diaz here, a catcher, that wouldn't be bad. So they got a ton of dudes all across the board. Now here's the recommended agents, right? Kyle Tucker, Vladimir Guerrero, they fit our list for on-base machine and power, but that's pretty much it. Matt Strom, a reliever here, a lefty. The dude's got, man, he's good. Yeah, this could help us out in the bullpen for sure. Another lefty there. Gleyber Torres fits us with the on-base machine. Azuna fits with the fielder, but he's not really an outfield. No, he's a freaking H, so I don't really want that. Paul Sewald, Luke Weaver. So we got some relievers that are on our 150, our recommended list. So Kyle Schwarber, lefty, power. I love that. He's like a DH guy. He can't really play outfield. He's got no arm. A lot of left fielders don't really work. Max Kepler though, 33 years old. He'd do enough. Got good fielding, good arm. Speed's not crazy, but he could play right field when we need him. That's a nice one right there. I'm trying to figure out Austin Hayes. I'm a fan of this guy. Contact hitter. Juan Mancado's out there still. Brought him in for a quick. Enrique Hernandez. Okay. So we got some things we can look at here. I'm not trying to get too wild with it. I'm definitely. Oh, what's his control like? His control's been okay. I mean, you bring in someone like a Aroldis Chapman, you're gonna have fun. But let me kind of work through this. I'll let you guys know. We're not gonna be able to bring in like all the free agents we want, but I want to get that bullpen right. I want to look for for an outfielder potentially, and hopefully that'll work for us there. So. Looks like we're going to be looking at potentially some older guys, but we'll kind of play it by ear, see what happens, and I'll let you know what we do. So here's where we're at for our first set on the board here. We're looking for. We're going to go ahead and try to get in number 36 FA ranked Luke Weaver, former Yankee, on the board here. He's asking for $5.3 million. I think that could work out there for us. Looking at Michael Conforto, number 40 ranked on the FA board there. He fits all of our slots. I think this really helps us out positional need, and he's got pretty good power. And then I'm looking at another reliever there, Hobie Milner, 37th ranked. So we're all trying to find this spot here of seeing if we can get these guys on our board. I'm hoping it works out, but you never know there. So here's what I wanted to do first is kind of check out who is on our board for the 40, right? Who's out there right now. And I'm gonna try to work through this here. So we got Trout's on the board, Neto, Ohapi, Rengifo, Boz, Joyce, Will Vest. So we got some relievers here, 2 righties that I really like. Yusei Kikuchi's 1 more year. Joe Adell, maybe. Reed Detmers is a potential starter. Hopefully he works out, right? He's regressing, but it's not as much as I would have hoped, and had a better year than he had the previous year. But Still worse than the 2023 season. So figure out what we're gonna do there. Jose Soler's with one more year. Kakanowitz is the other righty that I think could have the opportunity to probably be more of a reliever than a starter. Ryan Noda, guess I gave him an offer. I didn't realize it. I thought we booted him, but I guess not. Caden Donna, Hans Kraus is a righty. So we got righty. So me looking at a lefty in the back end is not bad. We got a decent amount of pitchers that are on the 40 man. I don't think I think it's more of a third. We got 2 third basemen here. Dustin Harris, Buddy Kennedy. Did we give a contract to Buddy? Dustin? I don't know. I got to look at that. So I have 33 players on the roster there right now. Who would I want to put on the 40 man right now? This is where we want to be very gosh, I think Samuel Aldeguerri, I want to put him on the 40 man so we can rock with him. I think Brock Burke is on the list. That's good there. Bryce Teodosio's on that list for center field. Kyron Paris is on that list. Ryan Zephyrjan. Oh, wow, we got a decent amount of guys. I like that. Caleb Ketchup. Maybe. Michael Peterson. Christian Moore's on the list. So is there anybody in AA I'd say George Clausen. How old is he? 24? I think George Clausen on the 40 man makes sense. You kind of get another pitcher in there. Bruno Ramirez, don't need to yet. I think we'll let him stay, but George Clausen's a good one. Looking at not yet. So I didn't really do too much in that space there. We are going to advance it. Let's see if we can get something there. What does that look like? It looks like the free agency is locked for us for a little bit, I guess. I don't know what. Maybe I didn't read that, so we just gotta wait. Still locked. Pending offer still. Let's see what happens. Dave Roberts has accepted. So we got our new freaking head coach, our manager, and then Ollie Flutie has accepted a third base coach. That is huge for us, folks. Big contract. So we got Dave Roberts now. We got a good hitting coach. We got a crew that should be able to set this team up, right? Dave Roberts cost us a lot of money, but it was worth it. Huge game right there for the Angels on that one. Looks like Skeen's got a cheap contract. Jackson Merrill, Dylan Cease, and Michael King are free agents. I would have loved to bring them in. I just didn't see that coming. Today is the day to offer contracts. Would you like to? Yes. So today's the day. So what do we got here? So Luke Weaver is still not there. Unfortunately, neither is Conforto. Conforto at 50%. I could offer a contract. It says current motivations 50-50. It says here's a contract you're offering. You can adjust both. Click finish here. So he's 33 years old. I think a 2-year deal is more than enough. We got about, it says we got about 14 million after, so we're not going to have a whole lot of cash. But I'll try. Let's see if that works out. So we sent the offer there. We got to wait on the others. Got to wait on the others. Just got to... It's kind of a little neat scenario there. Oh, what happened here? Samuel Aldig... Yeah, so we're just waiting for that. Michael Peterson. I thought I cut that guy. He's not on my list. Like, what? Oh no, he is. What the heck? Release him. I don't want him on this team. So Michael Peterson's out. So we're just waiting for that tender contract there. Let's see if everybody else accepted it, right? Let's go to the transactions real quick. Let's see what's completed here for the Angels. So Joe Adele accepted it. So we got him, avoiding arbitrage there. Matthew Lugo, Campero, they've stuck with us. Maderos, Cavadas, Kyron. So we got a lot of 2-year deals inside the minor leagues right now. Skull, Boev. So everyone else has accepted our contracts there. Love that. We spent a lot more than I expected, but you know, in the minors, you got to be cool. So we probably spent like maybe $5-6 million to kind of keep this crew together, which is bad there. So the only one now we'll worry about is Samuel Aldeguerri. Hopefully he works out. I think we're good here. Can't really boost him anymore. We got to wait on that. So we're spending some money, man. We are definitely spending some money here. I don't know if there's anybody else I gotta. Let's look at the 40-man real quick. I don't think we've had that settled yet. We'll keep it rolling. Skip 2 more days. Let's see if that has done anything there. Samuel Aldeguerri is still thinking about it. Dakota Hudson. I thought I removed him too. No, I gave him an offer. Okay. Those are the last 2 right there. It says the 40-man we could bring. Oh, these are the guys subject to the 5th 5-man rule. Brett Carey, Connor Brogdon. I mean, you're welcome to get taken. It is what it is. I'd say Daryl Hicks, Victor Maderos. I mean, if they get picked up, they get picked up. I'm not going to freak out about that. We'll keep it rolling here. So Dylan Cease took a $200 million deal to play for the Padres. 7 years. He is a Padre for life, basically. Golly. Must be set by tomorrow. Players not protected will be eligible. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. Looks like all the contracts are tendered there. Dakota is still waiting it out. But I'm happy we got that there. Let me look at what we got, right? Is there anybody else that we would like to have as a potential 40-man? So Hicks is Rule 5 eligible, it looks like. All these other guys are not. I'm not going to waste a... I mean, how did he do last year? I mean, he did okay. I think both these guys are on the bigger contracts, right? So... could go Victor Maderos, put him on the 40-man. That's fine. Put him on the 40-man. And Daryl Hicks will leave that. We'll take that to chance there. That gets us to 40, 34, 35. So I got 5 spots left. We're still waiting for the free agency here. Conferto, decision is made. Welcome to the team. So we got our left fielder here, Michael Converto. My mom always said I was a cherub, and now I'm an angel. I'm on the Angels. Welcome to the team. I think that's a good deal, about $6 million. That helps us out there. We're still kind of waiting out on these other guys here. Today is the day to offer contracts, so let's see where we're at here. So we were able to get Luke Weaver up now. Hobie Milner's waiting. Is there another player here that we'd like to bring in? So the relievers are in good order. We no longer need a left fielder, right? I think we can take that out of the books. Now we got to figure out, do we want to bring in somebody else? And I'm thinking now, second base could be of help there. I think we're going to do that. We're going to try to see if we can bring in a second baseman now. And I don't think it's bad. I think it's a on-base machine, what I'd like to do next. Kind of see if we can get through that. So let's look at one more player here. Recommended, right? Need a second baseman. Jorge Mateo, 30 years old, is not bad. There's a lot of players that are not on this list anymore. Wait, what do I need here? What did I say? Second base and on base machine. So we at with George Sampson, 31 years old. Dude's contact master. Power pitcher reliever. Looking for a guy that's an on-base machine. Jorge Mateo, 30 years old. Good fielder. Just had a really tough time last year. That's what scares me right there. It's like he hit a wall, but the dude's super fast. Good fielder. Contact's really solid against lefties. Fielding's up there though, man. That's big for me. Need another second baseman I can trust. Jorge Mateo looks like he can be that guy, but I'll work through this. So the player I decided to look at is Ahmed Rosario. He fits with what we're looking to do. He is more of a contact guy because that's what we're trying to look at for positional need. More of a contact hitter and power pitcher right now until we can get these guys settled in. But I think Ahmed Rosario looks really good for us. He's looking at a 2-year, $7.2 million deal. Not bad at all. But I want to look at Luke here. He's asking for $5.3 million. He fits with what we want. We'll have $10.72 million after the fact. I think you try. See if we can bring in this free agent and make it work there. I'm hoping for the best on that one. Luckily, all the other positions are in order there. Arbitration. Is there anybody I have in arbitration? Nope. Come on. Keep it rolling there. Michael King accepted a 5-year, $110 million. So Padre has left. He's going over to the Orioles. They made it to the World Series last season. Can they do it again now with Michael King? And the decision's in. Luke Weaver. Hey, he's made it. So we got Luke Weaver on the team, man. This is huge. $5.3 million deal. So we bring in another player here. We got a left fielder in Conforto. We bring in a Yankee in freaking Luke Weaver. That is huge for us. You're talking about a really nasty crew now. Luke Weaver is no freaking joke. At 32 years old, this guy's got legit clutch. He could be our closer. I think that's what I'd be cool with, having him be like a setup guy, closer. That could really help out. We got some veteranship there. That's big for us. With the left fielders now, with Conforto out there, guy still has a pretty decent arm. He's durable. We'll rock with it, right? I think that's going to help us out. Dude's got some power. That kind of rolls with what we want right there. So we still got some room. I think that gets us to 3 more. So we got 3 more spots here. That's huge for the Angels. Keep it rolling here. Today is the day to offer contracts. Let's see what we got here. So still no luck on that one. It looks like Milner. You know, it's our positional need. Do we say, hey, we're going to go for I think oh man, do we need a third baseman? I think with Rosario there we don't. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to take the third base out. And I'd like to look at a right fielder. Because Soler and Trout aren't going to be playing out there. I'd like to do that. I'd like to see potentially power there versus contact or power pitcher. I'd say power there. So the motivation, we got to wait. We can't unlock that for a little bit. But I think that could give us an opportunity there. We need to find a left fielder or right fielder, excuse me, that fits with what we want. So I'm going to look at that in a second. We'll get back to it. So I switched the team needs over to back to third base, and there's a guy here that's not going to cost me a lot, but I think could be really nice for us at third base. He's 101 on the FA rank, and that's Oswaldo Cabrera, former Yankee. He's done okay, not the craziest, but the way I look at it is look at where he can play. Pretty much the entire infield and left and right field. That helps me out. Got a good fielding, decent arm, decent reaction, vision's there, and he's a switch hitter. So I think Oswaldo Cabrera could be a really fun guy for us. That's not bad. I think we're going to try to rock that out and see where we go for the free agencies now. Ryan Helsley has gone to the Rangers there, 2-year, $26.8 million deal. All players must have contracts tendered by December 2nd or they will become free agents. So all my guys are good. No arbitration. Love it. Keep it rolling. Vladimir Guerrero goes to the Mariners. 5-year, $143.5 million deal. Great move for them. Mariners, man, that's a strong team right there. You have an opportunity to offer contracts. Do we have a chance to offer a contract? So it says, I'm reaching out to you in regards to Jose Cajeda. Feels like a good organization fit worthwhile. Would you like to check him out? No. Occasionally free agents that fit your positional need? No. This player's current motivation? Yeah, we're not going to sign you. If you like the free agent but are not ready to offer, finish, we're not interested. But Oswaldo Cabrera would like to join us. So do we bring him on? He's asking for 2.7. Well, how about $8.02 million after the fact? I think that's a fair deal. But, ooh, if we give him a 3-year deal, that'll move up a little bit. And he's so young. Right, he's 27 years old. I think that's a fair deal right there. We'll offer him that contract, and we're waiting for these other guys for now. That's actually a pretty good group of free agents right there, in my opinion. I think that helps us out. Zach Eflin has signed with the Orioles, $135 million. So that's 2 big You never see the Orioles do this in real life. They would never, ever do this. Their guys are so cheap. But 206 innings pitched last year. Golly, Zach Eflin. Oh, so he came back to the Orioles there. So he's hoping to do some things with them. And I'll keep it rolling. So Oswaldo Cabrera has made a decision. That offer isn't quite but we're not too far apart. Let's keep talking. Zach Gallen has accepted a 5-year deal with the Washington Nationals. That's a great move for him. Nationals have an opportunity there. Gosh, dude, I thought we had that one. Let's see if we have a chance here to do it once again. So Holby Milner, he's looking at, let's go 2-year deal. I'll offer him that. I think that's a decent offer there. Rosario's not moving around, but this is where we have an opportunity to maybe pivot. Get Oswaldo an opportunity here. He's not asking for a lot. I think that's a 3 years. I'll do that. We bring him in for a 3-year deal. I think both of those are good. We're just waiting out on Med Rosario now. How many players do I have on my roster, though? Where are we at with it? We got 87 players. I think we're going to be... I need to find a catcher. Hopefully these guys lock it in. We're going to have to look at some like free agent catchers and stuff. Got a winter meeting here. It's a rule of 5. Would you like to do the rule of 5? Yeah, it's fine. Oh, simulate the draft lottery. We were number 2 last year. We played really bad this year. There's a chance for us again to have a good top pick. Do we get this one? We moved down. So the Pirates, what a move. They were 11th. They moved all the way up. Insane. The Rockies have the number 1 pick. We have the number 3 pick. That is crazy. The Pirates moved that far up. How does that happen to... Oh, wow. We're the number 3 pick. That's not bad. Can't be upset about that. Colby Milner's thinking about it. If you're serious about signing, I expect something more competitive. So Colby Milner is acting up here. He does not want to sign yet. Oswaldo Cabrera's deciding, and there you go. Light that baby up. I'm joining the Halos. This is a good deal. 3 years, $2.81 million a year. So this is huge. We got a guy that we can kind of bounce around a little bit, and that would really help us out. We got the rule of 5 coming up here. Let's see what happens. Advance it. Rockies take a starting pitcher in Ryan Murphy. We're up right now. Let's see if there's anybody out there. So rule of 5, you can take anybody. There's a potential chance we can just take a third baseman here, right? I think we're gonna pass on that. So we will advance it. Skip selection. Are you sure you like to skip? Yeah. So looks like the Nationals took somebody. The Cubs took somebody. Any players you drafted will need to remain on the roster. Yeah, see, that's another thing too, is I didn't want to do that. So we'll get out of that one there. We'll keep it rolling. Today's the day. Yes, let's do it. Let's see what we got here. So look at this. Scott Barlow, a reliever. I'm reaching out. Scott Barlow happens to feel like he'd be a great addition to your team. Check him out here. Scott Barlow is a righty, 33 years old. He's got a okay two-seamer. He played in 41 games last year. He's regressed quite a bit. I don't see us doing that. We're going to say not interested at this time. So we got that offer done there. Colby Milner, willing to offer him another one. How old is he? He's 35 years old. I really like what this guy could do for us on the back end, but I'm wondering now if we just move on from him, right? We replace him. We remove him off the big board, and we let Ahmad Rosario go there. Hopefully he'll be ready to roll. I need to find a catcher. But a catcher that's super young. There's some, looks like there was a guy. All right, I'm going to look at that in a second. So after the Oswaldo Cabrera signing, we actually brought in some minor league players. Looking at a reliever in Grant Ford, third baseman in Abram Liendo, and a catcher in Caleb Roberts to help us out, kind of fill out that part. So really all we got left right now is going to be, Ahmed Rosario. Hopefully he wants to rock with us. But that's the last signing that I'm looking at right now for the free agency. Kyle Tucker takes the deal. Golly, how do they have room, folks? 9-year deal for Kyle Tucker to join the Dodgers for $285.9 million. Where do they find this money? This is absolutely absurd. Golly, dude. So look at this. Andy Ibanez is looking to join us. Let's see what he is. So he's a third baseman. Ibanez. He's 32 years old. He actually does fit with what we want. He's a pretty good player across the board. We can add him to the big board right now. And he's talking to the Dodgers and the Seattle Mariners. So if we sign him, do we want Ahmed Rosario, right? I'd love to have him on the team. He's got really good contact. He's durable. He can play the infield for us when need be. This allows us to kind of mix some things around. He can play third base, so that's big for me. He's a contact hitter. And do we blow our wad now? Or do we take this guy here in Andy Ibanez, who's not going to ask for a lot, and we try to snag him here? It's just, if we were to take him, he fits our contact need. That's what I want. Where right now, Ibanez doesn't fit that. He looks more of a power hitter, I think. His contact, yeah, he's not the greatest at contact, but 252 average. Last season, he played 136 games. How much did Rosario play? Played only 93 games. Oh, so he's actually dropped due to injury. Oh, is this guy got an injury issue? No, his durability is high. Man, just kind of a freak accident. How's the fielding for Ibanez? Legit. Not the craziest of arm. We could probably... Good reaction time. Arm's not the greatest. I think what we're going to do here, as much as I would love to bring Ahmed Rosario, I think we're going to remove him from the big board. And I think we're going to offer this guy a contract. He's 32 years old. So maybe we just give him a 1-year deal and we kind of roll with that. I think that's not bad there. Now, is there anybody else out there that would like to rock with us? I think we got a decent amount of money here. We just got to figure out what other positional needs we have, right? We don't necessarily need the second baseman now. We're trying to bring in some pieces, man. Nothing too crazy. Hopefully that works out there. We kind of keep it rolling. Contract decision is made. Andy Ibanez, light it up, light that baby up. We got another guy here in Ibanez. I think that's going to help us out there. 73 overall, 1-year deal. Nothing too crazy there. I think that helps us out. Ramber Valdez goes to the freaking Diamondbacks. Look at that deal. These contracts are absurd, man. We got one more free agent here that we're looking at. Oh, we'll be removed. We don't have any more money? Where are we at with cash? Oh, man. We don't have enough cash? 7.2 million. We don't have enough. Unreal. Wow, dude. That really takes us out, huh? Wow, I didn't think we'd be that cash strapped. I just liked how Dubon could have been right there, man. That would have really helped us out. So I think we are done with the free agency market. We got 91 players on the roster. I think that's fair there. 26 will be 52 plus 78. Yeah, we'll be fine. I think that's not a bad deal right there. We got a decent amount of players. I think our pitchers, we have some guys here that I'd like. I was thinking about a trade, and you know, do they have any players on the block? So Christian Yelich is out there, 23 million. Randy Dabnick, Jose Altuve's, you know, they're trying to find room right there. Brayan Bello could be a really nice reliever. What is he? 9.2 million. We don't have the cash for it. Who could we potentially send him to kind of even it out? I don't think we got enough guys to do that. There isn't anybody that's even remotely worth that, but we would have to send like a combination there. Robert Stevenson, Brayan Bello, right? Brayan Bello. He's 26 years old, 73 overall. He's got a long contract, $9.2 million. So they got this guy for a long time. How did they do that? We can't do that. I can't. Let me do this. Let me look at the trade here. Robert Stevenson, getting him off our board, right, would save us some room. Stevenson hasn't really done much. He's a reliever. So if we were to suggest a trade, what could we get? I'd prefer to try to see if we can get some prospects. The Orioles are looking at Max Wagner. He plays third base. Get a reliever there. Red Sox. So I'll let you guys know what we're going to do. So I think this is the trade we're going to go here. We're going to try to get Daniel Vazquez, a C potential 60 overall shortstop. In return, we're going to send him over, Robert Stevenson, over to the Royals. They have the cap space. We go up to $15 million, and I think that gives us the room right there. So having another shortstop will be nice. So we made that move there. That's huge for us. And because that's huge for us, now we have an opportunity to fill that roster. And I think that's where we get a chance to go after that guy, right? I think Dubon should be the guy. There it is right there. Mauricio Dubon. He's got all the pieces to really help us out. At 31 years old, he's very durable, clutch, good vision. sign him for a 2-year deal. I think that helps us out. So $7.2 million per year. Oh, that is a lot. That is a lot of money. But he can play the outfield. So we got to be willing to accept that, because we didn't go for, you know, we need that versatility out there. 2-year deal is fair. Let's see if we can get him in. So by taking away Stevenson, we were able to make room for Mauricio Dubon. That's huge for us. So we kind of keep it working here, see what happens. The decision is made. And there you go. We got another freaking free agent. That's a lot of free agents for us. When you look at where we're at right now, and just looking at the overall transactions, right? This is what we've done. You know, we traded for Daniel Vasquez. He's going to be having an opportunity to play in the minor leagues. But as far as free agency is concerned, we went crazy. We went after Andy Ibanez for a 1-year, $2.8 million deal. Mauricio Dubon, 2-year, $14.5 million contract. Oswaldo Cabrera, another third baseman. But again, these guys can play all over the place. We grabbed Luke Weaver for $5.3 million and Michael Conforto for 2-year, $24.82 million. So the outfield is loaded now, in my opinion, with good veterans to help us out. Infield's got youngsters that are going to grow together. We got a good veteran there, in my opinion, in Luke Weaver. That is huge for us. That helps us out. You're talking about a very good roster here. That fits with exactly what we need. We got our guys already in order. I think this is more than enough players. We don't really need to do anything now. I think this helps us out. I think that was the most reasonable trade for Robert Stevenson, you know, sending him to the Royals. They have a shot at building something up. I think we got enough guys, in my opinion, to really help us out. We got a decent amount of pitchers, still 22-7 over the limit there. We got enough relievers, still limit over there. So the pitching rotations are getting there. I think the infield is in a good spot now. The outfield looks like it's in a good spot. So we have filled out this roster with what we have right now. We'll kind of figure it out along the way. So we will sim to arbitration. Kind of get that out of the way. Ranger Suarez takes a $123 million deal to go to the Astros. Unreal. What kind of money these guys are making. Devin Williams, $35.9 million to the Twins. That's not a bad move for them. He was only with the Yankees for a minute. Kind of keep it rolling here. I didn't want to bring anyone else. I think we're fine with where we're at. So, we're in arbitration hearings. We don't have anybody we got to deal with, so we'll kind of keep it going there. There really isn't anybody else. I mean, we don't have anybody to renew. Right? There isn't really anyone to renew, so... today is the final big board day. I mean, is there anybody else we'd like to bring in? You'd say last minute. The best pitcher out there is Jordan Romano. He's looking for 7.8 million. So he'd be right under our limit. I just don't have a reason to bring anybody else. There isn't anyone that's surprising for me. So I think we're good. It's cool to move on, and I'm looking forward to getting to spring break. Do I have all my 40 here? Should, right? I do. I got my 40 man in order, so perfect. Let me double check that real quick. Shane Bosman, Joyce Usay, Nolan, Andy Ibanez, Conowitz, Noda. I didn't realize Noda's still here. It's funny. I forgot. Christian Moore, Aldegari, Maderos, Cavadas. So the pitching rotation is going to be coming up. I'll work through that for spring training and stuff, but looking forward to that. Tomorrow's the last day to renew contracts. We don't want to stop simulating. So this is where it is. The off season has come to an end. We are now in spring training, and I really like the guys we got. If you look at our moves, I thought they were pretty decent. So here's where we're at for the Angels. you know, I moved some players around just to kind of get them going there. But let's just look at the trade, right? In the offseason, we just tried to get some contract relief there. Robert Stevenson's going to the Royals. We bring in a prospect in Daniel Vasquez that I think could, you know, continue to round out our farm there with that infield. With the signings, we brought in Mauricio Dubon. I think that's just more versatility there. He's a little older guy, but, you know, it's good to have some veterans out there to help out Moniak and Adele. We got Andy Ibanez helping out with the infield. He could play everywhere. We brought in some other prospects, Grant Ford, Abraham Liendo, and Caleb Roberts. Oswaldo Cabrera, we went ahead and signed him as a free agent. Luke Weaver, another Yankee, and Michael Conforto coming from the Dodgers. So all this is like awesome, right? All this helps us out. And I think this is a great deal for us. You know, we got a good group of players that I'm hoping to work through it. And it'll be fun, man. I think this gets us to the right steps. I'll work through the rotation, get the depth chart out there, and then we'll see what we do for the upcoming spring training. But that'll do it for us today, everybody. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. I appreciate everyone that stopped by today. Y'all have yourself a good one. And as always, let's go, Angels.